Hey guys, what's up? Today I have another episode of the Unofficial Everlook podcast. This is episode 3. This time we have a special guest. It's Kargoz. Links to Kowloon's, Sanmedina's and Kargoz's channel will be in the description. I hope you will enjoy it. Like, comment and subscribe. Dislike it if you disliked it. And I hope you will enjoy it. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. Take care guys. Bye bye.
What up, homeboys? We are live with the Everlook, an official podcast, the one podcast that I was very scared that I would be too lazy to keep doing, but time forces me to do things. We got Kargoz here, excellent veteran in the World of Warcraft content creator space, one of the most notorious guide makers of Classic WoW actually. We got Vincent as always, and Gian is in church praying so he can be forgiven for not coming here. So, how are you doing, Kargoz? How are you doing, man?
Doing really good, man. I'm doing really good. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here on your show. I've been watching you guys from the sidelines, kind of low-key for a while, watching the Everlook project develop, and didn't think I'd be interested in private servers again with Classic and all that. But here we are, and servers looking really good, in large part due to your guys' efforts. And
Stop it.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy. There's a lot of stuff, man. I've been wanting to put out a lot of information. But I kind of just CBA to do it on my own channel. It's kind of a mixture of like being lazy mixed with just having a lot of work obligations as well and stuff. So just a lot of stuff on my chest and this is just like such an awesome opportunity to like connect with some of the people in the community and get some of that stuff out there and just talk with you guys, connect with you guys. So thanks for the invite.
Thanks for you for coming. And how you doing, Vincent, my boy, my recurrent co-host in this endeavor that we got?
I'm okay. Let's not track the mood down.
I know you could say like, oh, it sure is hot today, boys. It really is hot here. It sucks. I wish I could be in the right hemisphere, but I'm not. Okay, boys, we got a lot to talk about. As you know, yesterday, the guild in the Alliance called Su beat Ragnaros. We got the world first Ragnaros in Everlook. How long since the release was it? 16 days. There you go, yeah.
Yeah, did you guys watch it live or did you just watch the recap?
No, I didn't even know it was live. I wish somebody would have told me actually. Like I didn't know about it. I feel bad. Yeah. I would have like linked them or something. Like was it streaming live when that happened?
It was sick, yeah.
Yeah.
This dude, King Richard, was streaming it, and there was a ton of people watching, man. It reminded me of the early private server days where people were interested in that stuff, watching Apes and some of those guilds. 400 people watching. He's kind of a smaller streamer.
Damn.
Usually, probably doesn't get too many views, and had well over 400 watching him clear.
That's insane.
MC in 2022, and honestly, very wholesome guy, very wholesome guild. They're not really like turbo giga sweaty or whatever. They were still kind of like fumbling over a lot of the fights and stuff, which is totally fine. And it was kind of refreshing to see, man. They just weren't like these turbo neat types that everything figured out with a whole bunch of ego and stuff. They were pretty chill. Chat was pretty chill. It was good vibes all around. I think it was really nice, man. Shout out to King Richard and the boys Zoo.
Yeah, I'm gonna link him in the comments or something. You should check him out. I am so sad that I missed it. Oh my god! Like one of my favorite memories of Classic WoW was at the very start. You remember that event that Method did, rest in peace, in California? Like every big streamer was in the Method headquarters or something, and you were like, when the game came out, you were like watching, oh, what is Kargoz doing right now? Okay, he's at that level. Let's see where is Asmongold catching up. Oh, let's see his tips out ahead of everybody. Like, like just seeing people in the race was one of my favorite times during Classic.
Yeah, 100%. It's such a long haul too that it's like the best for a race type of thing. Like they're doing it for TBC and Wrath and retail and stuff, but nothing quite hits like the vanilla race because there's no way to do it in one session. You're dealing with a marathon, not a sprint. And I'm really enjoying the values on this realm. And I'm sure we're going to talk about a lot of this stuff later. Just curious how you guys are enjoying the game world right now. But it feels very brutal and difficult and in all the best ways.
Have you tried to kill Arugal?
Oh, yeah, he's bugged to shit. But Wall was manually rescripting him the other day because he was getting a lot of that feedback.
Well, but that's it does seem that it's a lot more overtuned than we are used to, and that's a very welcome feature for me at least. I always thought that vanilla dungeons were too easy baseline, and like having that little bit of challenge.
Yeah, it's tuned.
The way the world is tuned right now is you really want to group with people. Things feel a lot more efficient and smoother, and you feel safer when you're in at least with one other person. You know, and it's really the way that everything is set up right now is it really encourages you to party up in group of people and be social in the MMO. And like you get that kind of faction camaraderie and pride, and you build up that sort of seething hatred towards the other faction, even though we've probably played both factions a zillion times over. It just, you know, it never fails to impart that in you.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Like people are in general chat, guys, there's this level 17 hunter in Nashville, let's go get him. And like 10 people get up in a raid and just go kill him.
I still can't believe they put that shrine in the fucking game.
I am so happy about it, because we've been telling Wolf for Discord and we never thought he was gonna do it. We thought like, you know, like when he said that sounds like a good idea, we thought like this guy's capping. There's no way.
Yeah.
There is no way they are gonna put an essential monument in the server.
And there it is.
Lo and behold.
Yeah, there it is. Crazy, man.
Rest in peace, Keswick. You will never be forgotten.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about this a bit more too, but watching that MC yesterday, a lot of us, it's been a long time since we've played a progressive itemization server, and a lot of us don't even remember what it's like, and didn't really understand all that goes into a progressive itemization server. And I'll tell you what, watching them do MC yesterday, it was pretty shocking how little loot, like what loot changes there are in this patch. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but like half the loot is missing in MC.
Yeah. No loot.
And it's all the good shit. It's all the good shit is gone.
Yeah, like
There's
especially
no...
tank gear, right? Like there's a lot of tank gear that isn't available right now, and that really sucks. Like I don't remember the names. So there was these like off-piece bracers that were like best in slot until BWR, and they are not here. And I think there's also boots that are missing. Like I don't know the full list.
It's this guy sent me a sheet today where you can see all the changes in items. It's like a Google sheet. I'll link it to you guys in a bit, where you can check to see what's in 1.2 versus 1.4 or et cetera, et cetera. But just off the top of the head, no onslaught girdle for warriors, no perdition's blade, no obsidian edge blade.
Oh my god!
Zero loot off major domo. So you kill major domo executives, the right hand of Ragnaros, and you're expecting, you know, some sicko loot, low Rockdalar or benediction or anathema, and there's zero loot. There is no recipes. So there's no elemental sharpening stone recipes, no lion heart that you can get, no accuroscope or whatever it's called for the hunters. That's my understanding. No recipes. So MC is just this. There's not a lot of incentive to go do it right now. Like you still.
When they are gonna add onslaught girdle, because that thing is best in slot like forever.
Yeah. No, it definitely can be. It's a super strong.
It's one of the best items in the game. I didn't know that wasn't available.
Mm-hmm. And like, you know, BRE is nerfed. A Spinal Reaper dropped off Rag yesterday, and that weapon is so powerful right now because there's nothing in the game. So
yeah, I was gonna say that it's gonna be Arcanite Reaper land for a few patches.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, the other thing with 1.2 is there's no Thorium Brotherhood. That doesn't exist. That whole questing hub in Hinterlands, the Revan Tusk village off the eastern coast of Hinterlands isn't there. 1.2, I'm trying to be a bloomer about it. I'm trying to get excited about it. And the best I can do is go, okay, all these crappy items, not crappy, but, you know, these items from Strat and Skolo and some of the stuff like Devil Sword and Blue Gear, like, that stuff's going to have its time in the sun, and there's not much gear, and you're really going to be able to savor and appreciate each piece of gear that you do get. That's the bloomer take. But the other perspective is that 1.2 is kind of a pega. There's like, it's missing like half the content. Like, you're missing
yeah, like, I totally understand the argument for progressive itemization. The game was too easy, you have too much gear available, having gear available makes some classes way too strong, this and that, I get it. But at the same time, like, I don't think anybody went up and said, I really wish that Silitos didn't have any content in it. I really wish I couldn't question it. I never heard somebody say that.
Yeah, man, so you're just, these quest hubs are going to come out later in the server, and people aren't really going to care that much, right? Like, some questing hub comes out, you're already level 60 for 3 months, like, who cares? The main thing I think progressive itemization fixes, in a way, is it nerfs the rank gear for a while. So people still have the ranking in, so you can still rank and get honor and do all that, which is really fun, but you don't break the game, because the rank gear is so powerful that it kind of, like, in many ways invalidates a lot of the other gear. You just skip past all this other gear. You race up to 10 or 11 or 12 or 14. You just skip all this other gear. So by doing progressive itemization, the rank system is in, but it's a lot weaker. So it makes a lot of these other pieces.
Yeah, you can still get progression, but you do not benefit that much from it.
Yeah, and Classic was considering putting in, because the gear is so powerful, the rank gear, they were considering putting in the rank system during BWL, but people were like, there's no way, that's way too long. No honor system till BWL. They're like, imagine there was no ranking all the way to BWL. People would be,
That is silly.
That would be unacceptable to some people. But at the same time, you don't want the 14 weapons in too soon, because then once you get 14 gear, you're done. You can just clear it. You can beat the entire video game. You don't have to get a single other piece. You're entirely kitted out. You have everything you need to go kill the Zot. You know, as a warrior, for example.
That's the failure that it had with the design of the PvP system, because they made getting rank 14 so stupidly difficult and time consuming that they had to put like some insane reward to make it worth their time, and like they put themselves in a hole. You know, like there's no good answer to this now. I know I'm happy that the rank 14 gear isn't in, because what you said, like you got like almost AQ40 level gear, kinda like the item level power that it has, and like they won.
Yeah, and it's really powerful. So that's the main thing I think progressive itemization fixes. It makes it so that you can have the ranking system in, and a lot of people are enjoying world PvP this time around and enjoying that aspect of vanilla, like just the griefing and the memes and the emergent gameplay that comes from fighting out in the open world. But it doesn't invalidate all the gear. It would almost be like, in my mind, like selective progressive itemization. Like maybe you wouldn't do progressive itemization other than the PvP gear. Like maybe you just actually roll with final form value on gear and stuff like that, but just the PvP gear becomes stronger later, which is a bit awkward, but at the same time, it addresses a lot of the concerns.
Like the concept of the Franken patch, I think would be more alive than ever now. Like there is no one patch that modern classic or private servers adhere to. When they say we're on 1.2 content, that's really not true. Like we got the PP system when that was. I think it should be built that way. They should build the servers like with the best reasonable features that should be included. Do I believe that we shouldn't have Maraudon on day one? Do I think the game is going to be better because of that? No, I think it's pretty fucking dumb. If you, like they should just put some content in it, like content that doesn't make the game trivialized. You can make an argument for Dire Maul, I guess.
There's two pieces to this, right? So there's progressive itemization that refers to the items, specifically the items, and how they get buffed and nerfed over time throughout the patches. And then the other thing is like the phasing, right? Of like when you introduce Dire Maul, BWL, et cetera, et cetera. I really like the phasing right now. I think the phasing is awesome. I love that we just have Maraudon and there's no Dire Maul right now. I enjoy it. It's funny because maybe I'm too much of a bloomer. I enjoyed this the way Sam did it as well with Dire Maul and 0.5, like the Dungeon Set 2 quests there from the start as well. That made it an interesting meta. But it's refreshing to me that with no Dire Maul in the game and just the way things are right now, like farming Maraudon and just vendoring that blue gear is one of the best gold farming methods again. Like all of the kind of shitty B- tier gold farms are now S tier in this meta. Because Dire Maul's not available. Hunters can't do tribute runs. There's not all the jump runs. There's all that stuff's not in, right? So it makes, SM gold farming and weird stuff like that. It makes it viable, and it feels like, the economy is it's like everything's cheaper.
Yeah,
right now.
like I really wish, and White Kidney and Wall have talked about this, so let's hope they deliver on this. They say they are going to look very closely into Dire Maul and they are going to try to destroy every single gold farming method that exists in it. And that makes me very happy because that is like the number one money printing thing that we have, like the number one inflation causer in the game right now. Like when it comes out.
I don't know. That's a bit shocking to me. I don't know how I feel about that. I actually think that's kind of terrible.
I don't know. Maybe like jump runs should be okay because it's like 50 gold a run or something split between three people is not that much. But like the Lasher farms, you remember that stuff? Like the whole mage stuff that you can do. Even I've seen priests do that stuff somehow. But like I don't want to see any of that, any of the safe spotting, any of the guiding that you can do. I really hope they crack down on that. Because it takes zero skill. That's why there's so many bots. There used to be so many bots.
Yeah, like I can see with the Lasher farms in particular, I could see that for sure, because you could just jump down there and spam Holy Nova or whatever and get some gold that way. Tribute runs, there are many hunters. I want to say the majority of hunters.
I do not mind tribute.
They can't even do tribute runs. It's too. They're literally hard stuck. It takes a lot of effort. It's like a skill set you develop, and then you do get insane reward for once you can figure it out.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like Dire Maul being a part of the economy and all those runs is a big part of the
No, but here's the difference, right? Like when you do a tribute run, most of the money that you make is not vendor trash. It is money stuff that the potions, the whatever you drop, you know, the stuff that you sell. That's most of the money that you make. When you do the Lasher farm, you're literally printing gold into the economy that didn't exist before, and that's what ruins the economy.
Lasher farm's kind of small potatoes though compared to tribute. You're right though. If you want to sell the rings like Tarn Shelvin rings and sell like World Buff lockouts and whatever people need, that can be your biggest gold maker. But even just vendoring the blues is pretty nuts. I mean, you get like 4 blues, and on average they probably sell for like the median price would be like 4.5 gold each. If you get like a barbarous blade or maybe like 4 gold each. You vendor them all, and you get the potions and food and all types of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. They're doing some interesting stuff with the server that apparently has never been done before in private servers, like walls, going back and implementing like negative resist, which was there at the early vanilla.
I think warlocks are not broken enough in PvP. We need warlocks to be more broken, boys. Get to work.
Yeah, and hunters with lupos, original shadow damage.
I sure do love getting one-shot by a pet, boys. Let's get to work. If they don't put lupus in the game, I do not play. Do you remember the Lights Hope subreddit back when it was up? Like, the first 3 months that Northdale and Lightbringer came up, the subreddit was nothing but people complaining about lupus. It was lupus subreddit. It's insane.
Yeah, Lupos is pretty strong right now. I can open on a hunter right now and cheap shot kidney him, grenade, like just put a whole bunch of CC into him, and I can probably kill him a lot of the time. But just his pet damage, I'm at like 10% health while he's just completely CC'd the entire time, and the pet is just like mashing my face.
Yep.
Counterplay. There is no counterplay at all. It is so awful.
So when the hunters get to 60, they're going to respec out of BM. They're just doing that for leveling right now. And then once the pet isn't like Bestial Wrath, you can interact with it at least. And those pets aren't scaling any more than they are right now. There's no like pet scaling in vanilla, so that they will fall off a bit. They'll be playing like marks in PvP, and you can actually like blind the pet or.
Yeah, I'm gonna do la hunter. I better get my shadow resistance gear, boys. Oh my god. They say they are gonna nerf him, like when it comes out, what was it, BWL? They nerf Lupus to the ground.
Are they really? Interesting.
Like, because Lupus wasn't that way during the whole span of vanilla, it got nerfed. That's why it wasn't in Classic either. But I don't remember the exact patch that it got nerfed.
Yeah, I don't mind them keeping it in as is, as it currently stands. I mean, hunters could use a little bit of love in terms of like being able to pump a little harder. There's only 8 debuff slots on here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like in PvP, it's a huge issue. Because like magic damage is a lot stronger than melee damage in PvP, like for almost any class. And giving them like a huge bump of magic damage to something that shouldn't even have the damage that it has. Like, can you imagine being the poor guy that has to take the flag in Warzone Gulch? It's like Vietnam in there.
Yeah, it's true. But like hunters in a 1v1 situation, they're like if they open at 40 yards range, they can have a lot of a better chance. But like hunter versus shadow priest is miserable. Like just 2 shadow pains and you're dead. Hunter versus warrior, they can do pretty good versus warrior, I guess. But when warriors are just like kitted out and get right on top of them, you can just like 2-shot the hunter sometimes. Like I don't know, hunters do okay versus warriors actually. Versus rogues, I feel like if rogues have everything versus a hunter, rogues can do all right. If they're dwarf, it makes it a little bit harder. Like hunters don't have a lot of like fantastic 1v1 matchups if they're like not opening like 40 yards away and all that. Like you can deal with them pretty good.
Yeah, especially druids. Druids struggle with hunters a lot in forested areas.
Depends on the hunter.
Yeah, but like they say you need at least 9 level advantage to beat one. That's what I heard. So.
No, but
how are you guys enjoying the server though so far? I mean, I see you've been playing a lot more Sanmedina, which is awesome.
Yeah, I finally got some free time. Been pumping. Got like 4 levels in yesterday. My eyes melt.
Damn.
I gotta go farm RFK now and get the corpse maker. Oh my god. You know what I miss of playing a warrior, man? You know what I miss of playing a warrior? Like the weapon progression mattering so much. You know what I mean? Like getting hype for the Whirlwind Axe, getting hype for the Ravager. Now it's like, oh, I do a little more damage. It's not the same, dude.
Yeah, I totally feel you on that. Rogue has that as well. Weapon progression is just so fun. It just keeps your head in the game.
Makes you plan ahead. That's what I like, you know, like makes you plan how you're gonna level. Makes
Yeah,
dungeons
100%.
worth it.
There's nothing like getting a fresh weapon in vanilla.
And some classes, the impact that it has, you know, like that's another thing that casters are not so fun to level for me, is that you don't feel it. You do not feel it when you get more gear.
Yeah, you
Like,
don't really need the gear that much as a caster. Like, you can just level 60 naked as a mage and be fine.
I remember when I got my Whirlwind Axe, like I tried to hit a mob and I did twice the damage that I did before getting it, the same level, the same character. Like, you cannot buy that.
No.
So Vincent, you're playing Alliance. How's the Alliance going? You know, like...
A lot of deaths was one, but
Sorry.
yeah, all good. Nah, yeah, it feels pretty good. Pretty much each zone is filled to the brim with people. Depending where you are, for example, hill spread, foothills, just both factions running around killing each other, trying to push each other out of the quest areas. It's super alive, so on certain spots it's a bit hard to quest. For example, I think you guys know in Duskwood the ghoul area on the graveyard where Stitches spawns.
Oh, that's where Gate Master plays. Yeah, you know Gate Master?
Not really.
He was the #1 PvP first week of the server. He did nothing but go there and gank people in that graveyard.
Well, yeah. Great.
Is that what you mean?
No, what I mean is specifically, there are so many Alliance people just try to grind, and if you want to do quests, they don't even take the invite, so it's a bit hard to get stuff done in certain areas. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, but other than that...
the language barrier, you know, the Ruskies, they don't like teaming up. I don't know why, but like... Russian players, they like playing solo. They don't like grouping up. I don't know if it is because they don't understand what you say, or like they just do not like grouping up. Because I get it is faster if you solo, but like sometimes you gotta group up, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if you...
It feels really good to be in a group right now. I'm telling you, man. If I had to do it all over again, I just would have made sure. I would have made sure, like when I got to the contested areas, like some of the crazy spots in Stranglethorn or whatever, I would have. Tried to go with a larger squad, 3-4 people to do all the quests and stuff. It feels really good to be grouped up, and it is surprising. I feel the same way, not towards Russian people or anything like that.
Same.
But when I ask in guild, like if anyone wants to go do a dungeon, or you kind of get crickets a lot of the time. People are.
Oh my God, we got Gian Boy.
Hello. Sorry about that, guys.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
No, you don't have to be sorry. The Lord is more important than us.
Well, that's debatable. So, how's it been going, gentlemen?
Oh, we were just talking about how the server came out and how we were feeling about the population and our interactions. And we were talking about like how grouping up seems to be the meta right now.
Well, let me stop you from continue to talking. Speaking of which, actually, I have to go get a sip of water. I will be right back, guys. Sorry about that again.
Sip of coffee?
Yeah, sip of coffee.
Not very bright.
He has a broken leg. It's gonna take him a minute. So, like, yeah, I do feel that, like, for example, Shimmering Flats, there is no way you can solo that right now. There is no hecking way you can do that thing if you're solo. Even if you're like 5 levels over.
You need to be crafty about it, because I did it. It's a nightmare, though, as Alliance. It's a nightmare. I love that area, though.
So bullied.
I had so many hunters opening up on me, and then they died because they thought they could take me, but not gonna happen.
Flats is an absolute war zone. Are the lower level zones still packed right now? Like how is it right now?
Hillsbrad is full of people. Silver Pine is full of people. That's about all I've seen because I was doing SFK. The other ones I got no idea.
Ashenvale as well. A lot of PvP going on still.
Yeah, a lot of Hunter on Druid violence.
The first leveling zones like Mulgore and stuff like this, there is not much more going on, but the other ones...
Yeah, Durotar is empty.
Yeah.
That's true.
Around level 20, there's still a lot of people running around.
Makes sense, like everybody already hit their max. level. Because I leveled the mage to level 5 just to park him to get some rested EXP. You know, I'm gonna slowly level him and stuff. And it's like nothing. I all the time that it took me like 4 hours to get level 5, I got level 5 in 10 minutes.
Yep.
It was awesome.
I mean,
Yeah, that's cool to hear that the zones are still packed. Because like I'm in Ngoro right now, and it is an absolute war zone as well.
I
All the
can only
zones
imagine,
feel,
dude. Like,
there's the ranker types. Yeah, the ranker types who are like 60 and sweating. They're out here picking off the low 50s now, which is a great strategy to do. So they're just sitting here 16 hours a day at the flight path at Marshall's Refuge, and it is a meat grinder. You touch down on the flight path, dead. Yeah.
Jesus.
That's brilliant because they also get to make money off the devil source.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm surprised about on this server. No Devil Store Mafia, so to speak. I'm walking around on Ngoro, bro. There's Devil Stores left, right, and center all over the place. Like,
Yet.
I maybe the people already got all the skins they needed to, carve out their own little robber baron fortune. I'm not sure, but I don't have skinning, and I don't have a Devil Store set, and I'm broke, and it's kind of frustrating seeing these Devil Stores walk all around me, and I have
It's
no
gonna
ability
take a
to do
while.
anything.
Like the biggest challenge to create a devil storm, which it happened in Nost, and as far as I know, in Northdale it didn't happen. I don't know if it happened earlier and I was playing at the time or something. The biggest challenge is to communicate between like the Chinese time zone people and like the Western time zone people. Like, because like in Nostalrius there was like a huge alliance of like Chinese players and like every other country running the mafia. Here it doesn't seem to be that way, and like if you have like control over Ungoro for like 20 hours a day, but those 4 hours are controlled by somebody else that isn't playing to your rules, the mafia is not going to make any sense because like the market is going to be flooded.
I'm just really excited, guys, to play vanilla, man. It is so fun. I love this game. It's for some reason my wires got crossed when I was a kid. I don't know. It doesn't get old to me. It's just so fun every fucking time. So much to do.
It's
so much to do out in the
To
world.
do. So much to do, so much to see.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with taking the back streets? No, but it's the people. For me, it's the people. That's the main appeal for me, like the social experience of it. I've never been good at video games, and I am not about to start them anytime soon. But like being able to hang out with over a common goal, like some people like fishing, and I envy them a lot. Like I only see I don't care that much about fishing, but I totally get it. Like it's an excuse to hang out with the boys and get some beers, and like
Fishing is
wow for me.
amazing.
That is wow
Always
for me.
loved it.
And I love your guys' vibe on it because you guys are kind of like happily casual in a lot of respects. Like, and I kind of admire, like, you really are just like based and just enjoying the game at your own pace. You're not really stressing about it. You're not stressing about really anything. You're just taking it easy, taking your time, relishing in the moment. And I'm just appreciative that, there's still people willing to play vanilla in 2022. How many more freshes are there left, boys, before vanilla goes into dormancy for a long time?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's a big concern, like for example, look at the damage that TBC Classic did to TBC servers, and like they are not gonna do TBC anymore apparently. So they haven't even announced their intention to do that, and they like took it down. You cannot even download the client from them anymore for TBC. So
I think
like,
Blizzard could license out. You know how what GTA does with Rockstar, where you can run your own server like NoPixel, and NoPixel is huge now, and it's a big RP community, and you have to apply, and it's very selective. And there's a few other ones like NoPixel, like offshoots. It'd be so cool if Blizzard could license out, WoW servers in the same way. I don't think it'll ever happen, but if they did, and this was legit, and you could actually put some proper marketing and branding and community, and it didn't feel like you're, if you could do it that way, man, I'm telling you, we could make it huge, bro. We could make it absolutely huge.
Why do you think it hasn't been done like that? Because I feel like that's a win-win for Blizzard,
I think it's just too small potatoes for them. If I had to guess, they're dealing with just like many more integers with their like decision making. WoW is just like a footnote in the a cog in the machine.
Like,
but
for
one day, I do
example-
think they'll get bored of WoW. They'll think WoW Classic is no longer lucrative, and they probably won't care too much about, they won't care too much. And then hopefully, like, they're just cool with private servers existing and people.
yeah, like for example, here's one of the big problems that it happened with Bethesda. You remember that they used to like sell mods and they don't do it anymore. Like imagine you rent out the license to somebody to run a server, right? And that guy starts doing illegal stuff like selling gold or doxing people or whatever. Who do you think they are gonna sue? Are they gonna sue the penniless Russian guy that is hosting the server or Blizzard? Like that, I think that's one of the main concerns that they got with that stuff. You know, like
what they could do
a
is
lot of liability problems.
yeah, for sure. What they could do is, I thought about this as well. I mean, it's still too small of a potato, I guess. But they could sell actually the clients, for example, a vanilla client, the TBC client, the Wrath of the Lich King client. Could go with that. And then leave just the private servers alone. I don't know if that is feasible. I guess not. But that would also be a way to go.
I don't think I would ever pay a sub again.
No,
that's the problem, right?
Yeah. I mean, Ash once called it that with their client. They at some point sold it. You can buy this, and then you can play on private servers.
Because like you gotta understand that the insane feat of engineering that is the Nostalrius core, and like why we can have like a 10,000 people server without crashing when Blizzard struggles to have 300 people fighting, is that it's based on a 1.12 client. And if you take the 1.14 client without doing some heavy modifications, kind of like the opposite of what you guys are doing to play with 1.14 on this server, you know, like you'd need like a packet translator and stuff. Yeah. Because like the 1.14 client is not designed to run Classic. The 1.14 client was designed to run a lot of tiny instances together. That's what Legion and whatever was about. So it would take like to have something similar to Nostalrius in the 1.14 client would take a major re-engineering effort.
And I hope they can do that. I hope they can actually start working on 114. I feel that was another point I was hoping to get out a little bit. I think the word's been getting out. Vincent put out a good video the other day. 114, I think, is a pretty big game changer. There's a lot of people who've been playing on this 112 client for close to 10 years now. And I love it. I actually have a lot of love for it. I've played on that 112 client, made so many videos using that little Mangos repack. I've been on flights to, international flights where I'm on a plane and I'm bored and I'll just run it locally on my laptop and be able to level a paladin 1 to 10 or something. Or, I love it. And in my mind, it was really Brotalnia. If you look at the README and he played a major role in it, right? He was this like Bulgarian developer who worked on that light soap repack, and just a ton of the reason why we're able to play these servers is due to Brotalnia's efforts. And recently he stitched together 3 projects. He used the Arctium sandbox, and then he stitched together this project that was converting like classic packets into 112 packets or something. I don't even know what a
proxy
packet is, but yeah.
A packet is the information that goes from your computer to the server. So like 1.14 communicates differently. Like it's like it speaks a different language to the server than the 1.12 client.
Right. Well, he combined that with Arctium with his own program that he made, Hermes Proxy, and it's like a love letter to the community. I don't think this dude makes money doing this. I think he just is a big vanilla enjoyer, and he did the impossible, and now people are starting to enjoy 114. And it's very buggy. There's a lot of issues, but people are putting in issues on the GitHub, and they're working on them, fixing them up, and chipping away at it. And a lot of people don't play these servers because of the scuffed 112 client. Only a handful of add-ons working, and it looks really rough. No auto loot. You can't run sound in the background. You're just missing a lot there. And 114 is like a new industry standard potentially for these servers. So
yeah, it's also like some older computers cannot run it. Like I got a friend from Pakistan that wants to play here, and he can't because his Mac will not run 32-bit software anymore. So like
yeah, I heard this a lot.
A lot of these people, man, even though they play Classic, when you see their reaction when they are able to play like on Everlook with 114, it's like they're a kid on Christmas morning, like no joke. Like they're so happy, they're like giddy. They like can't even believe it's true. They're like putting in their weak auras and using any add-on they want out of the box from CurseForge. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's so cute.
I had the same reaction when Kargoz showed me all the links there.
Like. I got a few questions because I do not use it. Like, how does it interact with like combat logs and stuff? Because like the vanilla client informs a lot less. What?
You can log, brother, on that 112 client. There's
I mean like yeah, I've heard that. That's actually pretty cool. But I mean like, how does it work with like, for example, heal prediction? Because like as far as I know, the API of vanilla doesn't communicate with add-ons properly, so you cannot have like accurate heal prediction. It's more or less guesswork by the add-on. Like something. Does it work properly? Like that stuff?
That I'm not sure. I haven't played a healer on here, like using any of those add-ons, but all I know, bro, I'm a big guy for like immersion and art, and I that's a huge like fun thing I like to do is try to make this old game that we love look as stunning as possible. And I think you can do a lot with it, like doing reshade, messing with the graphic settings, everything you can. And I love that the game could look so beautiful even on these private servers. Like you can make the game look really stunning. And now the community, in a way, has the ability to always preserve that. Like, now that the 1.14 client is something that people can run servers on and stuff like that, like, we'll always have vanilla in our back pocket, in kind of like one of its best forms. So
yeah,
the keys to the Lambo, bro.
They put some really high quality textures in vanilla, like for the time. So like they probably predicted this thing was gonna run for decades. So like they put extra effort in making sure that the raw assets that they use were very high quality, so you could like in the future crank them up to 11. Like I've seen the screenshots, it's pretty impressive.
It's really, really nice, man. I mean, the one thing that always tilted me about vanilla, as much as I love the game to death, is the lava, like the stock lava. If you've ever looked at it, it's
texture is a square. It's tiny.
Unironically 2 pixels. Like I really think they put like their intern,
like
on
that's what. And also like the dirt in the barrens is also the same problem. It's like a tiny square and it repeats like a tile. Yeah. So you can like, if you zoom out, you can tell like it's such a terrible job with the texture of that.
Yeah, but you're now able to play P server with weak auras, full add-on support, start attack macros, cancel form macros baked in, auto loot, sound running in the background, ray tracing shadows if you have a good computer, running it in 4K. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's just it's like going from the Stone Age to, modern times, really.
Now, as a noob myself, now I know vanilla is predicated on like the 1.12 client. Now, are there any major changes? Do you think a transfer over to the 1.14 client could really change the vanilla experience overall? Do you think that's going to? Do you really think that a lot of people, like me myself? Okay, I'm a casual shitter myself. I like the add-ons, I like accessibility and stuff like that. But for the more hardcore players who are looking for a more steadfast vanilla experience, do you think the 1.14 client is going to interfere with that at all? Or do you think the 1.14 will be able to hold expectations for 1.12 and just improve upon?
It's just going to improve upon it, man. It's ushering in a whole new generation. It's in its infancy. It's in its early infancy. There are many issues with 1.14 right now. Up until like yesterday, I couldn't res on 1.14.
You need the macro, yeah.
So you just dive?
You need a script. The pop-up that says retrieve corpse or whatever, it doesn't pop up. So you had to run a script like /retrieve corpse with like in some brackets or something in order to spawn. Yep. That's how early infancy we are. The boat to Gromgal didn't work. The Zeppelin, you just like crashed instantly. Any mob in the water would just have this animation of falling through the water, even though they were standing there. It looked like they were just constantly falling over and over again. It's in its early infancy. It's like this jerry-rigged client that barely works, but they are chipping away at the iceberg. They are improving it. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't be surprised in a year from now, it's running smooth. But I think for a lot of PvPers, like people who enjoy like Gulch, like the Gulchers are just built diff, bro. The vanilla Gulchers, the Druids, like the Flag Carriers, all those guys, Perplexity, the Henhouse Lords, they just love the Gulch. It's their favorite thing ever, and now they're gonna be able to play, with weak auras and diminishing return trackers and everything, every modern amenity, and be able to play the game they love and with all that stuff as well. And I think it's just gonna improve the experience, increase the overall quality of life and perception. Yeah, just overall quality of life for everybody, man.
I could use a less buggy DBM, like DBM in the 1.12 is super buggy. It never tracks things properly.
Yeah, but shout out to Britannia. He's done a ton for the community over the years. He's been in the game for like 10 years, working on different projects. And
yeah, shout out. He's got some cool vids.
Hell yeah, dude. And this is about 2 weeks old, this tech. He posted it on like the 2nd of November, so.
Yeah, there's so many unsung heroes of the private server community. I made like a coverage of like when legacy players shut down. Do you remember that site?
Yeah, man. Then
like that guy made like a full armory and log website, like insane amounts of work, and he didn't make a dime. It's so sad to see it shut down. They say and they are gonna take it back now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is though, I think with 1.14 you're able to live log again, because you can just go in there, enable advanced combat logging, run your Warcraft logs client, and that should be captured in some capacity. I don't know if it's going to spit it out as an arrow log or a SOM log or what, but there's that. And then the other thing is LFG bulletin board. So LFG bulletin board is an add-on that was popularized in both TBC and in Wrath now, and it helps people find groups a lot easier. It takes a lot of the the spam out of these public channels. You can run that right now in vanilla right now, right? You can put LFG bulletin board. Not many people use it because it's only 1.14 enjoyers, but it's kind of like the secret tech right now.
Oh,
yeah, because
cool.
like Wall broke my secret trick for finding groups, which was that whispering /who people. he ruined it for me. I cannot convince him to change it back. I'm gonna have to code a bot to spam more effectively or something. Like, I always was like, why do you need LFD? It's so stupid. You just /who warrior and whisper 20 warriors and Wall is gonna say yes. I cannot do that anymore now. Sucks. What the hell, Wall?
Wall does God's work on the server, man.
Why do I gotta pay the consequences for 2 bots?
He grinds away every day, damn.
He does.
Yeah,
man.
he's really doing a lot of crazy stuff, and it's just so nice to see, like you guys were saying, like how much vanilla is a labor of love. I can't think of any other game, actually, now that I think about it, that has this kind of a community that's that works so hard and looks to the future of a game that's already past its heyday. It's just it's phenomenal. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So,
and like me myself, my apologies. Me myself, like I'm a shitter. I've never reached max level in vanilla, TBC, Wrath of the Lich King. My only time ever reaching max was in Cataclysm. And I always heard, I played vanilla WoW when I was a lot younger, but I never really got past, I believe, level 25 as a hunter. And it's crazy to me that I would rather play this game than so many other games that are newer. And this one's just so old, and it seems so, from an outside perspective looking in, it seems so worn out. But coming back to servers like this, it's just it really does blow me away. Like you, Kargoz, like your guide videos and stuff like that. There's so many people who are so passionate about the project itself. It's really beautiful. I can't think of any other game that could even compare.
That makes me so happy, brother, because I think you guys are a little bit younger, like all of you, right? Like you're, I got a few years on you. I'm 30 at the moment, and like
I'm 30 as well. Yeah, boomer mode.
Oh, nice. I mean, but
am I the oldest here? What the fuck?
Oh, you're older. I mean, either way, man. I love.
Am I getting groomed?
I love that there's like people who are new to the game that are still falling in love with it, and it's still able to have that impact on people. It's the game of a generation. It's a game of our generation, and it means a lot to me. And I want to be like an ardent defender of vanilla moving forward, right? People talk a lot of shit about vanilla, and honest to God, I'll snort the copium all day. I believe vanilla is the best version of the game. There's the most to do in the game. It's the world of Warcraft where the world is the main player. The world is on the center stage as opposed to the player. And you can talk on and on about it, but I really do feel like it ages like a fine wine. And the thing is, I made this analogy in our text chat the other day. In order to appreciate a fine wine, if you're new to drinking wine, you need like a good sommelier or someone to kind of like teach you how to appreciate. Like, a lot of people don't know what to do what there is to do in vanilla. They don't understand all the emergent gameplay that can come as a result of the world buffs, the consumes, the rating, the ranking. And all there is to do in the game, and there's just an absolute ton there, man, compared to Wrath and TBC. Those are very fun games as well. But being able to, teach people and kind of like show people like how awesome this game is, and to keep the torch burning and like get new people, interested in this, that kind of means a lot to me. As cringe as that might be to some, right? Getting people excited to play such an old game, but there's a lot there, man. There's a lot to love. It's so replayable.
There's so much
especially
character.
For like a player of your style, like an explorer, like a theory crafter. Like this game has vanilla, even TBC to a lesser extent, but vanilla is like by far the most with the most obscure trickery and things that you can do to get ahead. Like I can tell that you really like that kind of stuff of the game, like just the tiny stuff that makes you a little bit better. Like to this day, 3 years later. Like your class guys have the best information out there. Like your PowerPoints, they are the most complete guide. Not even paid guides can compete with that information that you put out back in the day, man. Like it was insane.
I appreciate it, bro. But the thing is, I look back at those guides and I cringe a lot too. I'm sure you do with your past videos as well, because
That's
you learn
normal.
so much. You change so much your mentality, and like you learn so much over time that a lot of that stuff in my own mind feels so ancient and outdated. But I'm still learning stuff about the game every day, bro. I'm playing a new class. I'm playing Rogue for the first time ever in vanilla as a main. I've played with Rogues, like I got Gladiator in TBC. My partner was a Rogue in twos, and like I played alongside them. But it's totally different to play it yourself, and that is so much fun. Like learning how to play a new class. And you just learn a lot, man. I'm just always a student of the game, and I would say until people have played like all the classes in vanilla, and done it themselves, like you haven't really beaten the game. There's a lot of stuff you can do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like there's so much, like, how you say, emergent content that comes out from vanilla.
Speaking of emergent content, like one very good example I'd like to bring up. I got back into vanilla back in the Darrowshire days, and I remember leveling a Horde character. And I came across the quest item, really sticky glue, which essentially is it's essentially a net, but it's consumable, and you only get 5 charges. Only each character gets 5 charges, just by doing that quest. And it really made me think, because I've been playing a lot of retail, a little bit of war main stuff like that. Cringe, I know. But the emergent gameplay that comes from the items in vanilla, that in itself is a huge, vastly different experience than TBC or Wrath of the Lich King. Because like I said, I've never really maxed out a character, but I assume that there are characters out there who will hold on to these emergent quest items, these consumables that will completely change the meta for the way they play the game.
You're so right. I mean, this is what I'm saying. This is why I think you have vanilla WoW, and then every other version of the game is kind of like retail. And it's not, I don't say that in a degrading way. That's actually like probably what the majority of people enjoy, and more power to them. Like, I can enjoy TBC and Wrath and all that, but it's like what you said. In vanilla, the lowest level zones still interact with the highest level content in a way. That sticky glue that you're talking about, Kowloon, what if I told you, you go into the final raid of the game, Naxxramas, you go to the final boss, the end boss that you started off on this journey to slay like 2 years prior, and you use that sticky glue item that you got in the first 30 minutes of your character to CC his ads and defeat the boss. That's what they were doing. That's what Progress was doing. That's what some of the top guilds do. They save those sticky glues. They save those bags of marbles that they get from Marshall Dugan at Goldshire level 6, and they use it to beat the final boss of the game.
Like, do you remember the Light of Elune and the scandal that it was in, like, Atlantis, was it? Like, Muro, this is TBC even. Like, this is a vanilla item that you get as level 30 in the Alliance that makes you immune to damage for, like, 10 seconds, was it? I don't remember.
I think.
Yeah, and, like, the world first Muro in Atlantis TBC back in the day was a guild that just took that item and went all the way to a level 70 super overtuned boss and like skipped an entire phase because they were all immune to damage. Yeah, like there's
like that.
The nifty stopwatch, the School of Impending Doom. Like there's so many tiny items that you think this sucks, and then you look at it at 60 and this thing is so strong.
Yeah, and you still have a reason to go to these low-level zones, even at max level. You're going to Westfall and you're farming Dust Devils to get Magic Dust for PvP or whatever, right? Like, where like all the zones matter. There's a reason at any stage of the game to go to these zones and harvest materials from them. The low-level consumes are just as powerful at endgame, kind of, if that makes sense. And it's just great, man. It's a vibrant world. There's so much to do. There's people that they play vanilla because they love world bosses. World bosses is just everything to them. They love the excitement and thrill of contesting a boss, asserting dominance over the server, scouting, and they get really, really sweaty with it. That's one whole swath of people. Then there's straight up like rankers who are just living in Alterac Valley in the Gulch, and they're navigating their own, their geopolitics and trying to, balance out the brackets and all right. You have that. Then you have the PvE sweaters who love to speedrun or parse, and they're trying to get world buffs and set up a new personal best with speedruns. And that's one thing they like to do. Then you just have the gold farmers or the buff sellers. Buffs in and of themselves there's a whole economy associated with buffs, right? You can sell Dharmal tribute lockouts, you can sell your Ani head drop or a ZG drop. Like, I don't know, man. There's just an absolute metric fuck ton to do in vanilla, and it's all very fun. Like, it's like the actual gameplay of farming stuff in vanilla, I think it's just like very fun
Yeah,
to.
I think like S-Fan put it best when he said like that it reminds him of when he was playing football. Like when you are about to go to the game, you don't just drive to the stadium and go play football with your class. You know, like you prepare, you go to the lockers, you like get in gear, you get your coach like talking to you. You know, it's like a
You get
preparing
hyped
for the
up, yeah.
game. I really like that feeling. I think it got too annoying because of the culture, not necessarily the mechanics, but the culture of classic WoW. And like seeing not be sweaty here makes me so happy. Because like when you're not when it is not mandatory to get wall buffs, they are great. When it becomes mandatory to stay in a guild to get wall buffs, everybody hates it. And that's the way I feel at least.
There's plenty of guilds though that actually don't mandate it. Like they do definitely encourage it, but like it's kind of few guilds that mandatory say you need to get the entire suite of them. If you just show up with like Oni buff and tribute buffs, like and if you're missing a buff or two, like it's not the end of the world. There's plenty of stuff out there too, and you know you can pug your own ones too if you'd like.
No, but what I mean is that in Classic, every guild, almost like every decent guild, expected you to get all the buffs. But like in Light's Hope, for example, it was like we were doing farm content, nobody had buffs, everything was fine, you know, nobody batted an eye. Like, of course, for progression, you need them, okay? Like, I can understand that, but like, I think we place too much of a premium culturally into world buffs at the start of Classic, and that really burned me out.
I feel like I think that's just another part of the emergent gameplay. For example, like you know, you have these world buffs and stuff like that, but to use retail as an example, instead of having world buff meta, you simply have 10 mans, 25 mans to adjust difficulty, stuff like that. There's nothing really like that in vanilla, which is really nice. So you can, you know, like if you want maybe a harder Ragnaros run. Maybe you don't, you know, maybe you're not going to require everybody to have their world buffs and stuff like that, which is just, it's huge. Rather than mitigating, it's what I guess what I'm trying to say is with vanilla emergent gameplay experiences, most of it is up to the player and the guilds to decide. However, like if you were in retail and, you know, you didn't really want to, you know, stick around with a guild that was too sweaty, you know, you could just LFG, jump into some fucking random.
My take on it is I think buffs are an acquired taste. It's something that can initially put a very bad taste in your mouth because people can be toxic about things and they can be condescending and they can be elitist and they can make it can just really be a bad time, right? But it's something that is very much in line with the spirit of vanilla buffs. It's like World of Buff and consumable craft is vanilla. And you can be as strong if you were sweaty enough, if you had enough gold, you have limitless power. And some people in Classic did this. They would pop Flask of Distilled Wisdom over and over and over again. They would cancel it and pop it again, and they would be able to print 1,500 mana over and over again, right? And you can do that if you have the bankroll to support it. You can get every spell power and melee attack power consumable in the game as a Ret Paladin and go full fucking Bankai Super Saiyan and you can absolutely sweat to the ends of the earth. You can pop yeah, you can pop Flask of Petrification. There's so many interesting items in the game. I really feel like it was just pure dumb luck that they made so many interesting items in vanilla and they ended up being so high impact. Like just weird items like Flask of Petrification. Like there's no shot they would envision 20 years later sweaty nerds would be use that to bypass mechanics, then they repop their regular Flask and like I mean that's I like that. I enjoy that a lot, and it's the same thing with with buffs. Like in Som, they didn't have world buffs, they didn't have Chrono Boon, right? And I still enjoyed the hell out of Som. It was really fun, but I feel like by not having world buffs involved in any capacity, you're cutting out a huge chunk of gameplay in WoW that kind of for no reason. Like it's nice to have that chunk there. It's just more to do, more to engage with, and a lot of the raiders, the PvE types, that becomes a game within a game when they're raiding. They like a punish. If you play bad, you play too greedy on trash or something, and you get one tapped by a trash mob and you lose your buffs. It's almost like why people like the hardcore challenge in leveling. If you guys have heard of that, like the one life thing. Yes. If you die, there's kind of a punishment for that, right? And it encourages you to play well and play clean, and it's more satisfying when you can finish the run, preserve all your buffs. There's definitely like a bad side of it for sure. Like I'm not saying that there isn't, but I don't know.
No, but I think I like the Chrono Boon a lot. I thought it was a great compromise, and like it's a shame that the community doesn't see it that way in here, because I think it would be a great idea to put in the game in here, like preserving your buffs for later, so you don't have to worry about that shit like 2 minutes before the raid. Like
Yeah.
That'll be just great.
My guess is that Psalm 2, whenever that does come out, is going to have Chrono Boon. They're going to have world buffs and they're going to have Chrono Boon. And I've talked about this on the stream yesterday when I was doing a late night stream, and I was asking the chat. I said, "What do we lose in vanilla with Chrono Boon? What do we lose?" And what you, if you get to the essence of it, what you lose is you lose the world PvP associated with world buffs.
Yeah.
And if you try to think about it, yes, there can be some absolutely exhilarating things and really fun emergent gameplay from the world PvP and with regard to world buffs. But overall, there's also a lot of just like toxic shit that can go on with that too. When you spend multiple hours collecting world buffs and some just shitter is just dispelling you, that can feel just really, really bad. And I can live personally as a huge vanilla enjoyer. I can live without the world buff, without the PvP associated with world buffs. You can still lose those world buffs, right? You go into the raid with your Chrono Boon, you pop everything. If you make a mistake and you die, you just lost your world buffs. So you're still getting the exhilarating feeling of pumping with full world buffs. You still get the punish if you die. All you're missing there is the world PvP aspect. And you also still get to play your character, right? Because that was a big issue people had with world buffs. That
that's the issue for me. Like that's the one issue.
Yeah, and the Chrono Boon on Psalm, we had the Chrono Boon in Psalm, but the world buffs didn't work in the raids, right? But people would still have a Chrono Boon, and it was nice. You would hover over somebody's Chrono Boon in Psalm and look on it, and you would see a full royal flush suite of world buffs on it. And you know, their perspective was like, oh, if a world boss, you know, if we're gonna go kill a world boss, I'll pop my Chrono Boon and get all my buffs. And it just feels nice, like having this Chrono Boon with a full suite of buffs. You'll be ready, you just pop it and you just go fucking Bankai Super Saiyan whenever you want, like, you know, and then you can resave them again after. But
yeah, because like that's what like annoyed me so much. I had to make a second character in Classic just to preserve my buffs, and I would play on the second character that I didn't really want to play with, just because I couldn't play on my character. Because I had if you played, the buff would run out. Like it has a 2-hour window, and if you like keep playing, you lose it. It's so annoying.
Now, what do you think that was Blizzard's intention was to maybe incentivize doing like leveling an alt in that kind of situation?
I've actually talked with Kevin Jordan and John Stats, and that's probably some of the most starstruck times I've ever been in my entire life. Honestly, meeting some of these like developers that worked on the original game. My overall takeaway from talking with them, I love these guys to death, but they were basically just saying they were a bunch of really passionate nerds all working on like cool stuff independently. They had like a cool idea for something and they just splinter off into little teams and go work on it and build it. They didn't have some grandiose vision of how all this stuff was going to like interact with each other, all the different buffs and items and stuff.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, but it worked, right? It's almost they stumbled upon this genius. They stumbled upon this genius. You create a bunch of stuff that's really cool independently, and then you get these really flavorful interactions that you don't even anticipate. Like he said on the record, they did not expect people to get full world buffs and go kill all these bosses and stuff. This type of culture and atmosphere just formed over all these different playthroughs of vanilla, and it's just lucky that it formed in this way. Like it's so fun, the whole system of it. Like if you can just drink that vanilla Kool-Aid, like kind of just try to understand, appreciate the fine wine that it is, and understand like what there is to do, how it works. Okay, this is World of Buff, World of Consumable Craft, just how it is. You got to be really well stocked, have a good, you go out into the field from the city, and you're trying to resupply. It's like you're on a fucking mission, and you're going out into the field. You're checking your potion count, you're checking your band-aids, you're checking your what do they call it? All the things that each class needs, like whether it's poisons or vanishing powder for rogue, hunters it's ammo, shamans it's like onks and whatever the fuck. Druids have like maple nuts and stuff.
Self-respect.
Yeah. Self-respect. But when you go out into the open world, it feels like you're preparing for like a mission, man. You're making sure you're fully squared away, all your gear is packed up tight, you have band-aids, potions, everything, because it's dangerous out there. And it's hard to go gather these. You have to fight viciously to get Lotus or to get whatever you're trying to, go for. And just a lot of that, man, a lot of that feeling I've never been able to experience in other versions of the game. Like a lot of times in TBC, I'm sitting in chat, I'm getting summoned to wherever I need to go. I'm getting summoned to raid. I'm pressing the Q button on Arena and I'm playing Arena. And it's all fun, but it's very different from the vibe of vanilla and how it's so world-centric. Yeah. I'm in Ungoro Crater right now, and I'm stealthing through the crater. It's pouring rain. I see gigantic devil swords walking around me. Alliance everywhere I go. It's just extremely dangerous and immersive and atmospheric, and
or the weather effects and the ambience, so much atmosphere. the night feels really amazing.
Yeah, it's so strange to me. Like I think it makes sense. Simple's better being a boomer myself. I played Shadowlands through recently, and I leveled up in that zone. And I got to tell you, the high quality assets, the high polygons, the beautiful environments in Shadowlands don't even compare to Azeroth, to vanilla Azeroth. It's kind of crazy.
Completely different game.
They had a great artist direction. I don't remember the name of the guy that designed like a lot of the zones. They interviewed him. I don't know if you interviewed him too. I forgot the name. He made a book, like the work.
John Stats. Yeah, I had him on. It was on our Good Morning Azeroth podcast. He made all the caves and.
I thought I remember. Yeah, like they had like such great talented people, and a lot of them were like guys that were just painting rocks before they joined the company, and then they told them like, go make this zone.
Yeah,
and it worked out somehow.
It's unbelievable, man. I talking to them, I was so starstruck, man. It's like I literally saw Santa Claus in real life when I fucking met Kevin Jordan. He's the guy who's responsible for making all the classes and talents, all these cherished classes and talents that are so ingrained into our minds. Like he was the key person driving all that, and he views all the classes as his children. He doesn't even play the game currently, but he still has a lot of love for it. And he doesn't like any class more than any other class. You know what I mean? And he was just giving his thought process on a lot of it and getting John Stat's take on, he was telling us what was going through his mind when he designed Wailing Caverns. And I still remember, he has a lot of this stuff in his books, but he was saying like, I wanted like an Easter egg way to kind of guide people in Wailing Caverns and show them where to go. So he put these mushrooms, these yellow mushrooms. Next time you're in Wailing Caverns, look for him. Yep. Anytime you're confused or lost in where to go in Wailing Caverns, look for the nearest yellow mushroom and just keep following the trail of mushrooms, and it'll lead you to the next bosses. You know what I mean? And he was telling, and it's in his book too, like when he designed the dungeon Black Fathom Deeps, what was going through his mind in terms of designing that like hopscotch, you have to jump from each like stone to each stone, and what he wanted to like invoke in the player as they're doing that. And
interview, he said something like he didn't know if it was going to be possible to jump over it yet when he designed that. Yeah. Because like it was so early in development that he didn't know what the game was going to be played like yet. Damn. That was so funny. Like, you see this game and you think like, oh, it is so obvious they could do this and that. And like they didn't know if it was going to be a third-person game or a first-person game or something like that when they started. That's
another thing I've observed, right? I feel like some of you were there too, right? I think you were there, San, and maybe Vincent too. Do you guys remember before? Okay, so I started playing vanilla private servers again when Warlords of Draenor was out and Nost was out. I missed the launch of it, but like I was probably midway through the server, and I started watching videos and stuff and joined up. And I think I played a little bit of Chronos before, like possibly, but this was a time where the world chat at the time, San, people were the constant conversation in world chat. If it wasn't about Alex Central, it was about do you think Blizzard is going to do vanilla, guys? Do you think Blizzard will do it? And people are like, nah, man, you are literally tripping. There's no way Blizzard does vanilla. Like, that was the conversation, bro. It wasn't even a possibility. These people were playing vanilla WoW in 2016 with no possibility of vanilla actually coming out. There was no glimmer of hope. They had made no breadcrumb announcement, nothing. People were just playing this game, with just a fervor. You know what I mean? I was watching some of those early videos by like Hamster and Mr. GM and Dodgy. I went over this a lot before, and it was inspiring, bro. It was like intoxicating. You just wanted to participate in this fledgling kind of underground community. Like it was awesome. It was like underdog feel vibes, and I feel like you guys are doing that in many ways now with like a new generation of people to enjoy vanilla. But then when Classic got announced at BlizzCon 2017. It was electric, bro. Like dude, millions of people across the world got so excited.
I remember that, yeah.
I like cookies and cream, but some of you like vanilla.
Yeah.
It was so exciting, man. It felt like a movement. It felt like, we are classic gamers. We are vanilla gamers. We like the way the games used to be. We're built diff. Like, we don't really like the retail style. We had a lot of pride going towards classic, man. And the classic players, it really felt like the private server community and a lot of the figureheads at the time were at the forefront of it. And even people like Alex at the time, right? These people were like vanilla figureheads. And it was inspiring. And and Classic came out, and it was a hell of a good time. I made a ton of friends and a ton of great memories. And I absolutely just adored that time and cherished the pre-Classic hype. But I look at it right now with TBC and Wrath. And that community from back then is unrecognizable. Like I don't see it anymore. I don't see the same people. They're long gone already. And it's not to say the community is bad. It's just it feels like more of a retail audience that are playing Classic currently.
It's different.
Yes.
I think, super ironic. I think Alex Sensual made a great point when he said that most of the people playing Classic today, they just play retail and that's their alts.
That's their alts. That's what it feels like, man. That's what it feels like. And here's the other thing that it makes me a bit frustrated at times because in the guilds that I'm in and the people I know, people do look down upon Classic. They see it as like this Pepega boomer game, like raiding and mythic raiding is way harder. Like raiding, doing anything in retail is way harder. And that may be true in some respects, but it's also not 100% bulletproof statement. You know,
also
I think
worthless.
Classic has legs to stand on. There is a lot of skill you can demonstrate in this game. There's a ton of finesse. There's a ton of really cool interactions. There's a lot to do. It's a respectable game it's an awesome game. And I don't think it's any necessarily better or worse, but all I'm saying is I do want to be like an ardent defender of vanilla and to make the case that there's more to do in vanilla now than there is to do in Dragonflight. Or maybe I don't understand Dragonflight, but like I said, I could sit here for the next hour and tell you about all the different things you can do in vanilla to enjoy and have a good time. Everything from and the systems too, like the simplistic, charming friends list that you have, where it's no BattleNet. I'm not seeing who's playing fucking Call of Duty Warzone on my friends list. It's just a few simple, concise list of players. It reminds me of the Halo 2 friends list. If anybody played Halo 2 back in the day, it was this charming, simple system that was so fun to use.
Before the software companies tried to spy on everything you did, you just had a friend and that was it. It was the game and nothing else. You didn't need a launcher. You didn't need to install this fucking thing that you don't need. You needed this Steam Epic Origin launcher to play anything. You just play the game. You had your friends in there, and that was it.
Yeah. But there's this perception that Classic is a joke, and raiding in Classic is there's no mechanics, Omega Law, Imagine Wiping, just the reason I like Classic, this is a very popular thing. The reason I like Classic is the content is just so brain dead easy that you can be kind of in a vegetative state and still clear it all with your friends and stuff, and just relax, and it's just this completely joke of a game, but it's very relaxing and stuff, and I kind of get a little bit of what they're saying because I hear about Mythic and I hear that you put 200-300 wipes in on a boss, so you're just chain wiping and you got to be built there for it. You have to take the wipes with a smile and you get back up and you chip away, you progress on the boss a few percent at a time. I get it, but that doesn't mean that there's no skill or finesse or stuff or legs in vanilla as well. It's just a different atmosphere, right?
I think the main challenge in success in vanilla is the main thing that will determine your success in vanilla is not the game, is your social skills. How can you rally 40 people into doing something? Like back in Classic, I was in a very good guild and I was doing very well, and I was a terrible player, and the only reason I was in a high ranking role and I was doing in that guild was because I was capable of stealing people from other guilds. That was my job. They didn't care if I showed up to the raid. That was the one thing they had me for, and I did it. And it is quote unquote
it's the social
easy
aspect.
Yes, it is quote unquote easy to kill Ragnaros. What is really hard is to get 40 people that gonna try and they are gonna show up to Ragnaros. That's the hard part.
There's other angles of it though, right? There's speed and there's efficiency. It's not just killing the robot. It's either how fast you can do it, how efficient you can do it, if you can do it in an interesting way. And the other thing that Classic has over retail is the idea of fresh, brother. Fresh. I don't think there's even a perception of fresh in retail. They don't go again. There's no fresh. There's no cyclical nature of retail. It's just
Can't wait for VFA.
It's these servers that just exist in perpetuity, and there's not really any difference between the servers now. You can kind of just play with whoever. There's not really fresh servers or rolling restarts. Classic, we have fresh. It is a cycle. It is a circle of life. Kumbaya, fucking, you play a different class the next time. We're not scared of it. We're built diff, bro. Give me 0.5x leveling speed. It's fine. Nose to the grindstone. We'll fucking bust it out. And you go again. You play a different class. You do it a little bit better. And I've been playing this game for so long, I don't think I'm skill capped by any means. I still think I have a lot of room to improve as a player overall, to understand the classes. My whole point is there's a lot there. Vanilla in particular has very strong legs to stand on. There's a ton of gameplay. There's a ton of demonstratable skill.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. I had to change the setting of the stream. I had chat disabled for this whole time. I thought people were just really paying attention right now. I am so sorry, boys. You're welcome back to chat. Sorry, go on.
Owned.
Oh yeah. Oh, all good. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's just a lot there with vanilla, and I'll be there every step of the way with you guys for the few that are left. The proud, the vanilla 112 enjoyers. I'll be there with you guys every fresh. You know what I mean? Like, this game is fucking goated. It's the game of the generation. There's a ton to do, and WoW in general is in a great spot right now. There's a lot of hype for Dragonflight. You know, people are gonna play their little scaly DeviantArt evokers and all that shit. You know, more power to them. Godspeed. Wrath is fun, but vanilla is also fun, man. I'm hyped for Psalm 2. Everlook is badass. I'm talking a lot, boys, and I just got a lot of passion.
We can tell, boy. That's why we brought you in here.
All good, man. All good.
that is like your amazing skill set, like the research that you put into your guides, like, because like you know what I'm talking about. When Classic was coming out, like, so many people were trying to BS their way into making a guide that they never played before, and like you went in with like this fucking document, this Bible of like the class and like every single detail on it, like the weapon you gotta get, the quest you gotta do, the abilities you gotta do. Like, for somebody like me that likes nerding out about this stuff, like you are the best.
I still remember the portion of the Druid guide with the front stabbing. I do that because of you.
I mean, I appreciate it, guys. I really do. Like, it's crazy to think those stupid guides I made like so many years ago are still like, you know, people remember that stuff. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I never felt, you know, a passion to promote a game in the same way as vanilla. I mean, dude, the music is so goated as far as I'm concerned. It's like the ballad of our childhood, man. Like, all these zones, like, it hits the same each time, bro, as you're flying through it. Like, there can be times where you get sick of WoW and you take a few months or a few years off, but
then you come back and you are addicted again.
It's just so comfy, bro. It's so fun. The combat is so buttery smooth and classic, even though I'm playing on a $150 ping right now. It's so satisfying. The leeway, just the way everything feels, the noise, the animation, the classes, the flavor, it's all there in vanilla, man.
It feels impactful.
Yeah.
I use the vanilla orc animations. Those are the best. What's your favorite race of animations? Or like, animations wise, what do you think is the coolest race to play melee?
Oh, hand down. Melee? No races for melee. Troll mage.
Honestly, best animations on melee in a vacuum, I'm actually gonna go troll male, dude.
Ooh,
just on
pretty
animations.
Good, yeah.
They're like, doing like fucking Eddie Gordo Capoeira as they're fighting, bro.
Yeah, I like the orc one because when you're slamming, I don't know if you paid attention to that animation. He just stands there and he tries to get mad. He just like shakes in place for a little bit and then he slams. And I always thought it was hilarious to play a warrior with orcs animations.
What I find so interesting too, though, is also like how their tastes have evolved over time. Like, there used to be like female dwarfs used to probably be the lowest representation out of anything in the game, and
by
now
far,
there are female dwarfs everywhere.
They are the most common priest, I think.
There are female Taurens everywhere. Like, it's like it's crazy how that's one angle of it. And the other point I was gonna make too is I can't believe how strong this world is. This world that was made in probably 2003, because like the game came out in 2004, but they had to actually put all the pieces together in 2003. We have min-maxed this game and put it through the meat grinder of technology, and we've hit it with so many external forces from every angle. We literally have GM commands on our own private servers trying to like no clip out of the walls and map. Like, we have every tool at our disposal to try to rip this game to shreds. And somehow it still holds strong. It's still fun as fuck. And you can make little tiny tweaks to either itemization or phasing or whatever, like they did in Psalm, and the game hits entirely different. The meta gets shifted. It's crazy, dude. Like, Psalm was such a breath of fresh air for me. I played so many like 112 servers over the years that for me Psalm was interesting because they made it unlimited debuff slots, which shifted the meta a lot. Hunters are able to Serpent Sting and use Hunter's Mark. Warlocks are able to do full dot rows on stuff. They put 0.5 in from the start, which is the Dungeon Set 2, which during Classic came out during AQ. So that means you have like Dark Mantle set and that like Heroism set for Warriors. And, you know, you make a few changes like that, and the game feels entirely different. Rogues are pumping now. Warlocks are pumping now. Hunters are pumping now. But you see what I'm saying? You're not actually adding new content into the game. You're just kind of tweaking the timings of
when it comes out,
items and phasing. You know what I mean? And now with this server too, we're playing on 1.2. and just on the unique set of circumstances we have here, this is going to be its own unique meta as well. And I don't know what it's going to be yet, to be honest. And I'm excited to see how it goes.
I think, like, for one, I think that bear tanks are gonna be even stronger now because, like, all the good tanking gear is not out there. Like a lot of them, like the trap gear. That will be interesting to see. Seeing a lot more bear boys. I got a soft spot for bear tanks, even though I don't play a druid anymore.
One thing, like when we're talking about the meta and stuff like that and the gear shifting, that's why I like vanilla so much. Like I was saying earlier, I played through Shadowlands, and there was very little in that game with transmog and a lot of stuff that that really made me feel like this is my gear and this is how it's going to affect the way I play. There's almost none of that. However, in vanilla, like I was recently playing, I got a fire wand, I believe, and it uses fire like a fireball. So there are enemies who are immune to fire damage, which is I don't know, for me, going from, Shadowlands where I could just smack everybody in the face with pretty much any mob in the face, pretty much with whatever I want, and then coming back to classic vanilla, I mean, it's a totally different damn world. Totally different.
You know what is funny? You know what is funny? Like in Legion, people got the Ashbringer, nobody gave a them, and in Classic and in Vanilla you get like an 8-slot bag, and you're jumping off your chair.
Yes, I have Star Fury in retail, and I transmog. I spent like maybe 50 hours of my life just constantly grinding that raid until I can get Thoriel Star Fury, and I transmog it onto my bows. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. People are like, oh wow, awesome, and I'm like, please, I worked so hard for this.
Please inspect me.
Please.
You seem like a really great guy, Kowloon. I mean, all you guys. I really hope you guys make it the server and at least do one full playthrough through vanilla, and kind of just fucking chug the Kool-Aid, boys. Like just right in the IV, right into the veins. It is such a fun game. It is, and this is like maybe one of the last opportunities you have to play it towards, and enjoy like every stage of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you guys are like figureheads in the community. You've done a lot for promoting it. Like I think this is it, man. Like I really hope you guys make it. Like I'm gonna try to make it myself through all the phases, but. I just feel like this game is so awesome, and people are they're like not remembering why it's awesome. You know what I mean? At this stage, and that's kind of like why I even want to do podcasts and stuff to try to like remind people what's so dope about vanilla, because you can kind of forget, right? You can kind of just get swept up with like whatever other games.
Yeah.
Like no cap. Sometimes we get on Discord and we talk for 2 hours about this shit doing nothing else. That's kind of our pastime.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It is truly awesome. Okay, boys, like, we're running out of time a little, so, like, I don't know, before free girls chat here, thank you so much for that comment. So, awesome. Anyway, chat, if you got any question for our boy Kargoz, we got a resident expert in vanilla, that's not gonna last here, like, this is maybe your one chance to, like, get your question about whatever class you got here. You got any question, you drop it right now, we should address that, Got a bunch of people that couldn't chat before. That's my bad. I disabled chat the whole thing, dude.
Oh, has it really been an hour and a half already? Like, I actually feel
almost.
bad. I feel like I just talked straight for like an hour and a half. That's actually crazy.
Dude, you were here for a reason. This is awesome. I mean, I didn't even have to do any work.
I don't think I'd be playing this if it wasn't for your guys' videos and stuff, man. Because like I was pretty wrapped up in the Wrath side of things and doing a lot of other stuff, and I almost for a while thought Everlook was kind of doomed to a certain extent because it felt like a lot of
I thought too, actually, I thought that too, to be fair.
Yeah. So I was excited for Sam always, right? But like I didn't think I was gonna play Everlook. I didn't have high expectations. Asmus was like really pushing, like, hey man, let's do duo level, like undead rogues and stuff, and then watching your guys' videos, and I got just a little taste of that feeling I felt in 2016, bro, when I was watching Hamster and Dodgy and Orc-Bit, and those guys just making these sicko guys just oozing with passion about the game, like small underdog community. It didn't even think like we were gonna even get Classic. It felt like a win, you know what I mean? Like it felt like we all won a fucking massive prize when Classic got announced. You know what I mean? I got a little taste of that watching your guys' videos and like getting the hype going again for Everlook. So like, thank you for that.
That's good. That's
man,
really
like
good.
The thing that you say about like they are never gonna license Blizzard and all of that. There's this Chinese saying that a spark can set a field of fire. A single spark can set a field on fire. Like only Nostalgia's being taken down gave us Classic. Don't give up hopes. You never know what's going to be the next Spark.
Yep.
You never know. It may be the lawsuit. It may be China. We never know with that company, dude.
Well, I'll tell you what, bro. There's a lot of good signs. There's like the rumblings are happening, right? Like the population's going up, dude. We're at 7K pop. There's more people
we
playing
reached
Everlook
7K
today than there was on launch.
Yeah.
I'll say that again.
Yes.
There's more people
growing.
playing Everlook today than there was on launch.
Yes.
There are people that are streaming Everlook low key. There's the 114, which is this massive catalyst of like, holy shit, I don't have to play on an ancient like Neanderthal Stone Age client anymore. I can actually play with Weep Wars and stuff. Holy shit, like this is insane. Then you have, people are starting to stream it, come back to the game. There's a bunch of OGs that recognize in the scene. We're in the phase 1 Wrath, where that phase 1 Blues is kind of setting in a little bit more. Like there's still a couple months towards Ulduar, and Dragonflight's out, but a couple weeks into Dragonflight, people kind of get bored of that. Maybe starting to want to come back. So
yeah,
there's
the dark side.
Come, you're welcome.
But that's the other thing I was going to say, boys. We are already a small niche within a niche within a niche as 112 vanilla WoW enjoyers. Like I'm gonna keep it a buck. World chat is kind of crazy. A lot of times you guys got some crazy takes going on. Like trying to like be very divisive and stuff. And there's like obviously some racism and stuff going on. Like come together, guys. It's a global community. It's a global server. There's not many of us left out here enjoying vanilla in 2022, soon to be 2023. Chances are you met any of these people, whether there's Chinese or Russian or whatever, at a bar, and you found out that they played WoW Classic and they know about Hager and Elwyn Forest and shit. You'd buy them fucking 3 beers on the spot and a pizza, and you'd literally kick it with them and like become fucking IRL homies instantly. You know what I mean? There's not many of us left out there, so just be nice to people and like don't like.
I'm so glad that you're saying that.
Out all the time.
Yeah, I'm glad you're saying this because this is one of my naive ideas. I also did some other projects, and I want to say to people here, we have choices, and let's come together as a community. It is basically us against others. If you against Blizzard, you could say. Sorry. Let's just come together as a community.
Exactly, man. That's what's going to draw people in, right? They're going to get those vibes from the community, and they're going to be like, man, like those people seem cool, man. I kind of want to like, be friends with them or be, like, it's going to draw them in. You know what I mean? If they get here and they make a character and they're looking for a Dead Minds group, and people are like, getting crazy with like, racist remarks in the world chat and whatever they're talking about, bro, like politics or whatever, they're not going to really feel that desire to want to like actually play the server. They're not going to respect their fellow gamers on the server and shit like that. You know what I mean? And they're probably just going to like go back to whatever they were doing before. So
even with all of that stuff and like the toxicity, for example, like I was there for Everlook launch, and like as you know, launches can be hectic. They're awful. People are making alt, spamming chat and stuff. Even then, it was still fairly easy to find a group, and it's a goddamn amazing experience.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. I hope you guys make it to the end, man. Like, it's going to be super fun. Like,
I definitely will.
If you get ever, like, frustrated or you don't know what to do, like, or, like, you're confused about something, man, like, there are some OGs out there that just love this game in the same way like I do, like, and they're happy to help, bro, and, like, kind of, just help with whatever.
Yeah, like, I've been, like, maybe this is a little teaser. I've been wanting to get Hamster in this podcast for a while, but I know he has, like, a life now, and I feel bad, like, bothering him. Like, because I know he would say yes, but I'm like, he's busy.
Try it. Ask him.
I'm gonna get the chorus. I'm gonna gather the chorus one day to do that.
I'll hit him up right now, bro. Hamster and I go way back.
Oh, we talk all the time, yeah, but like.
Yeah.
Hamster was a chat, dude. He's got some cool videos.
One guy is saying that you grieved the Minashen Bell, Kargoz. Can you apologize to that poor man?
Apologize.
I'm very sorry, brother. I'm very from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, by the way, can we get a shout out to my girl Pennylen, who showed up in the chat,
Pennylen?
That's another OG right there, dude.
Oh my god.
For a hot minute. Seeing all her.
Do you know that in the top of donations of her stream, it still says Alex Sensual as one of the top donations?
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. It's stuff like this in itself is a good example for what vanilla brings to the table. like the social aspect of it. I was playing Darrowshire, you know, just screwing around in the comfy crew, and I met Medina through that game. I don't think any other game, even like maybe TBC, but even TBC, like you were saying, a lot of it's just porting to raids and stuff like that. Vanilla has such a strong social aspect to it that helps keep the game. It's fresh every single time you play it. Even if the server is, you know, even if it's halfway through progression, it's still a fresh, cool experience every time you fucking play vanilla. It's amazing. You're gonna meet new people. You're going to remember. I still remember getting stabbed by Sewer Hobo in Darrowshire like 2 years ago. I still, like, as far as I'm concerned,
here.
I don't know who he is, okay? But screw him, okay? It's stuff like that. It's just the small, emergent, like, I will never forget that.
Traumatized for life?
Yeah, I'm traumatized for life. I'm going to be on my deathbed and being like, when I was your age, I was playing on private servers, and this prick Sewer Hobo kept owning me in Westfall.
The name is
man,
program.
Remember, son, always pound noobs.
Don't forget to Nova before you blink, my boy.
Yeah, man. I remember. I know some of you are in the same boat too. Like just remember that feeling in your belly. I'll never forget it. I went to go. I was getting Subway at the time. You know the sandwich shop in America. You may not have that sandwich.
My brother in chat, Christ, you made the sandwich.
So I'm getting Subway, dude, and I'm watching these Alex Sensual guides at the time. And he was actually a big guide maker at the time. Like, and he you know was making these like he actually had a very calm voice, very soothing voice, just talking about like, you know, how to make gold in vanilla, or like, you know, 10 tips for this. It was very crude, like the production value. But I'm just getting my Subway sandwich. I'm watching these videos, and I am just fucking head over heels, just bricked up, dude. I can't wait to get back and get into Stone Talon and pick some fucking ambercorns, bro. Like this is a long time ago, right? This is like, you know, 2016, 2017 type shit. But that was such a it was so much fun, man. Like just getting back into vanilla for the first for any of you guys, right? Like a lot of us probably took a ton of time away, and then like that feeling of remembering this game is out there still and getting back into it. Just the absolute best, man.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I like. What I really enjoyed about Alex coming back, you know, like those chill style of videos. He's very good at doing that. Like, ironically, I think that's why a lot of people watch Katsumok now, because like he tries to imitate that style, and say what you will, it is a pretty entertaining style, you know, like, you know, the whole dramatization of it, how he walks into the chimney, you know, like...
yeah, it's good, and I think it's indicative of the World of Warcraft game itself. Like the kind of, like Kargoz was saying, like it's a niche within a niche within a niche community. But still, there are people within this community that are, like, they're prolific just by playing the game. And it's huge. I can't think of any other game. Like, I play DayZ casually, and I have been recently. And, you know, people will shoot me in the game, people will grief me, people will harass me, but I don't know their names. I can't, off the top of my head, remember their screen names. But Sewer Hobo, I will remember that until I die.
Alliance are doing Onyxia right now. They already did Onyxia. I think even the Horde did Onyxia right now. Already.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got to step it up though, Horde. Alliance got a lot more 60s than us, man. We were kind of
I know,
getting stomped out in the sweat department.
Yeah, but you gotta understand that this whole new Chinese wave of new players, we benefited a lot from that. So I think we're gonna kick their ass.
Yeah. Dude, I can't wait till you get the 60 sand, bro. We can actually run dungeons and stuff, bro. Like, oh,
Ubers all day. I'm gonna hit 52. I'm gonna respect to Resto, and I'm gonna do nothing but farm dungeons. All the way
I'm gonna
to
hit 60, and then I'm gonna make sure you guys wipe on every raid and dungeon that we do together.
Yeah, don't tell me you're Alliance too, Kowloon. Come on.
No, I'm Horde.
Oh, let's get it, bro. What's your class and spec?
I am a troll frost mage.
Let's go, dude.
I'm
Blue
so bad
class
at the game.
hype.
Yeah.
Okay, like the way I see it, we all gotta gang up and gang Vincent.
Nah, Vincent's got to Vincent's got to reroll Horde, bro. We'll make a little budget Fairlina.
We're gonna make him reroll Horde. That's what we're gonna do.
Level 9. Already. I'm coming.
You level 9 on Horde?
Yeah.
No shot. You have a Horde? What is it?
Tauren Hunter.
You know the cool thing about Tauren Hunters, right?
No.
You know they're the snipers. They're they're the Chris Kyle of Azeroth. They have the 41. They have the 3 extra like yards of range, right?
Oh.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
their hitbox is bigger.
Yeah, so they have like they can hit people from super. They can also be hit from the furthest away, but like you will be downrange, like 44 yards away or whatever as a Tauren Hunter, and you can hit
Damn.
people.
That's cool. I didn't.
I love Tauren. I just wrote because of that.
They are the best. It is Tauren, Orc, and Dwarf. That's the top 3.
No, it's not. Come on, dude.
Trolls are weak and they are a disgrace to the Horde.
Trolls have been in Azeroth for, Trolls have been established in Azeroth for far longer than many of the other races.
If they
And
are
the
so
disgusting
smart, how come we decimated their empire like 3 times?
They're not very smart. They're loyal.
There you
and
go.
They're respectable people. You don't. Oh, you know what? You're on my list now too. Sewer Hobo and Sanmedina. Now I have 2.
I told you we...
I'll run you guys through Wailing Caverns stuff, get you caught up. Like I got some of my Wrath buddies playing too. They rolled here recently, and like we did a Wailing Caverns for my buddy yesterday. He's a level 17 hunter. He got like Venom Strike, full Fang set. He got the bag, but a scope on his gun, and now he's just having the time of his life. But once you get a little bit higher level, like going to
He's gonna destroy druids for sure all day long.
Level 25 druids, watch out.
yeah.
We refuse to let the meme die. We refuse to let it go.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Thank you so much, Kargoz, to you for coming in and giving us all this roundup of how it was back in the day to play vanilla during the classic days. Like, it was so hyped. That's one of my fondest memories of classic, and like being able to relive that for a minute, it's been really, really good.
Oh yeah, brother. Thank you for the opportunity. Much love. Shout out to everybody playing on Everlook. All the 112 enjoyers out there. Much love, everybody. And take it easy.
Much
Same
love,
to you.
boys.
Love you.
Thanks for being here.
Except for you, Super Hobo. You can go. I'm just kidding. He's a good lad. It's just like one of those things, you know.
He's your
never
enemy.
gonna
That's
let
the
it go.
problem.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day, guys. Stay safe out there. Vincent out. Bye bye.